everyone, welcome back to another episode of Come and See. I'm your host Mariam Nagy, and let me just say this, we have bombarded you with all kinds of aspects of how to be engaged in the church, from how the church can keep us engaged to the youth and the adults and the kids, parents, and so on. So this week we're going to be talking about something completely different, and I really do hope you enjoy our episode today. We would like to welcome back Myrna Nagy and Monica Mikhail. They will be talking to us today about volunteering. Volunteering is a way of service, but not everyone can do every type of service in the church. So let's talk to them about their experiences. Monica volunteers within the church and Myrna volunteers outside of the church. So let's talk to them, see what their points of view are, and which one might be better for you. Myrna, talk to us a little bit.
So I volunteer outside of the church. I find that I'm very organized in the way that I work, in the way that I handle situations. Especially at work, I really like to keep charts. So I was looking at ways to volunteer outside of the church, and I came across Meals on Wheels with Fairfax County.
Okay.
At the time, I wasn't working. I had a lot of time on my hands. So I really wanted to find something that I could do for them that maybe fit my schedule, that fit what I wanted to do. I looked at the sort of opportunities that they were offering, and one of them was basically meals coordinator. I would keep charts of all the meals that went out, it was perfect for me. I didn't have to drive anywhere. I didn't have to drive people. I didn't have to drive like the meals, but I could keep everything organized. All I had to do was kind of correspond with the different teams, make sure everything was getting on time, the numbers were good, and I would just keep monthly reports of everything. And that worked for me. I'm able to do it from the comfort of my own home, but I'm also volunteering my time. It's something that does take a lot of time, a lot of concentration, and a lot of energy, a lot of organization, and I find that that really appeals to my own taste, my own skills, and it's helped me hone my skills even further because it's something that I've already kind of been doing, but now I'm so much better at doing it.
Does it give you a sense of fulfillment?
Absolutely. I know the situation that the people on the other end of it.
Okay.
I know the kind of situations that they're in.
Okay.
A lot of them are elderly. They can't leave their home. They can't go out and buy groceries. But it's not just that. Like, people look at Meals on Wheels and they think, oh, this person is, 80 years old and they're bedridden and they can't do this or that. But really, it's also young kids. We have clients that are in their 20s, 30s that can't leave for whatever reason. And I can't help but put myself in that situation. If I was stuck at home, I mean, what would I do with my time? And they live alone, so nobody can buy them groceries or anything like that. So we have the opportunity to help people that can't help themselves, and that's always a fulfilling thing.
Okay. Monica, so you serve within the church.
Okay, so I teach English at St.Moses to adults. Since I was a little girl, I've always wanted to be a teacher, but that wasn't the career path that I was able to take. But a couple years ago, I decided to do a certification for teaching English as a foreign language, and my plan was to go abroad and teach at different countries. But then after I took the certification, some adults at St. Moses, they came up to me and they're like, hey, we want to learn English, and especially being from a different country and not being able to speak the language is very difficult, for just all aspects of life, for their careers, and just simple as buying something, it's hard. So I was like, yeah, why not? I can do that. So I've actually been teaching for over a year now, and honestly, I didn't realize how much I would love it. I mean, I knew I would love teaching, but to be able to really, this is not a job, so I'm not technically, I don't have, expectations, really, I don't have a boss who wants expectations from me, or I don't have to give them tests or things like that, because I do whatever I want, because it's my class. So, you know, like different times, like I'll try to incorporate different activities and things like that just to make it more fun for them.
Yeah.
And I never imagined, like, we only meet once a week, just because, like, you know, they have a lot of other obligations like work, and they all have kids. So we only meet once a week, but I look forward to that day every single week, and I never imagined like how much I would absolutely love doing that. And like just from something that simple, like I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. You know, like I would love to, like, you know, make that class like even meet even more regularly, like, you know, maybe 2-3 times a week. Like that's okay with me. And I don't even think of it as work, you know, like even though I have to prepare and like, you know, like figure out what we're going to do in class or like homework and things like that. But like, I don't think of that as something that I have to do. It's something that I love to do. So I'm very thankful that I was able to be given this opportunity, and it just made me really realize like how much I really love this. You know, it kind of brought out this passion that I had since I was little, but then I almost forgot about it. So while I might not, like, you know, have teaching as a full-time career, but at least I can do that, you know, like on the side, or it really gives me fulfillment besides, you know, like just my regular job.
I actually love your answers for a few reasons, but one of them is usually when we talk about service, we think Sunday school. You know, we're going to serve in the church and it's going to be Sunday school and so on. But like we've mentioned in previous episodes, everyone has a gift. Some people are public speakers. That's a gift. Some people can sing, others can play musical instruments and so on. Not everyone can do the same exact service. And not all of us will always be serving inside of the church. Of course, we should give back to the church somehow, but we're always encouraging everyone in the church to look for volunteer opportunities or service opportunities elsewhere. So just like you give back to your own church, you're also giving back to your community as a whole. I would love to just learn a little bit more about how you feel that has helped you in your own life. So I love the fact that you were able to bring your passion into a service. How has it helped you grow in your own life? And has it only been in a spiritual way or maybe in a more social way?
For me, it's honestly kind of like with, you know, teaching Sunday school. They've taught me so much. They're all older, they're all adults, so they've taught me a lot of life lessons, you know. Our classes are very informal in that, like, if someone's like having a bad day, we'll talk about it, you know, and like figure out different solutions and things like that. So while it also, like, it's making me, you know, it has a spiritual aspect of, I go to church more now because the class is in church, but also it's like I've become friends with them, you know, even with the different age, like the age gap, it's not, you know, I don't even feel it in the class. And I don't, actually from this past week when I had class, something happened with, like, in my social life that it was kind of really bothering me, and they could tell that when we started the class, I wasn't my normal self with them. Like I wasn't joking as much, or like, you know, I was kind of straight to the point, and they could sense something was wrong. So like they asked me about it, and at first I was a little hesitant to talk about it, but after talking about it, and like they were like, no, like they gave me their opinions and things like that, and I felt so much better. Like I didn't think they become my friends, so I didn't think this would make such a big deal. I'm like, thank you guys so much, because this has been bothering me all day, and just from like the 15 minutes that we talked about it, it has helped a lot. So it's definitely helped me in that it's really made me like appreciate also, you know, like they talk about their experiences with when they can't understand something, and like going to like a job interview and they don't know because they can't understand, and it makes me like so thankful, like that I'm able to be in a position where I actually help them, you know, like And it's so like fulfilling too when I see them improving, you know, every week when they like, there's some words they don't know what they mean, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, like they use the vocabulary words they've learned recently. So
makes you proud.
Yes, very proud, as if I was like a parent, you know. So.
Yes. So Myrna, volunteering outside of the church, so it's obviously a different perspective. Tell me how it has helped you grow.
For starters, I'd like to point out that when you start volunteering, you're giving away of your own free time. So I feel like it actually allows you to give more of your time because you're choosing to do it. So when you choose to do something, it's coming from you. Nobody's forcing you to do it. And so when you choose to do it, you're volunteering not only your time, but you're volunteering yourself. And you're doing it willingly, which makes you want to do it more. And when you do it, you learn to love it. And the more you learn to love it, the more you want to volunteer, the more you want to give. And if you can't volunteer, you can donate. Like it makes me, for example, it makes me not just want to volunteer my time outside of church. I volunteer my time inside of church. I volunteer myself when I'm babysitting. I babysit my nephew all the time.
Okay.
And I don't mind doing it because I'm giving of my own time. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I know I said earlier that I was organized, so not like I'm an overachiever or anything, but I did prepare something. I actually looked up some statistics that I found were very enlightening.
Okay.
And since you asked me how it makes me feel, I thought this was very relevant. On Huffington Post, which is, that's kind of where I get my news, there were some statistics that were done by the United Health Group that said 76% of people who volunteer report that they feel healthier after volunteering. 94% actually said that it improves their mood, which makes sense because you learn to when you volunteer, you learn to love it. You're doing something that you like. Obviously, it makes you happier. 78% of people said they feel less stress, and again, because you're doing something that you enjoy. It's like if you enjoy going to watch a play, you're not going to leave stressed out. You're going to leave feeling elated. 80% of people said that it had an overall control over their health, like it helped them to control their health better, because I feel like when you volunteer, you're also learning to make better decisions. So when you learn to make better decisions, it's moving from one aspect of your life to the next. So you're not just making better decisions when you're volunteering, but no, oh, I'm going to choose to do this instead of doing something that will hinder my health. I do have a couple more. And this is what I was saying earlier. So in Forbes magazine, this is what I was saying. Volunteering your time actually makes you feel like you have more time to give. Because when you're willing to do something, time goes by like that. You know, you're enjoying it, time goes by like that. And so you want to give more, and so you feel like you have more time to give. And I really, really like that one. And the last thing that I have is, this is also from Forbes magazine. It said that when you volunteer your skills, it actually helps you develop your skills further. When you're good at something, you like doing it. It's not rocket science. So the more you do it, the better you are at doing it.
And I love the fact that we each have something different that we can contribute. So yes, you are good at something, and when you use it to volunteer or to serve, it kind of does hone your skills, and you are able to do more, and you're able to develop it even more. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences with me and with our audience. This has really been a very, very nice episode. I have to admit, I did not really start volunteering until well into my adult life. But just like you both said, once you start doing it, there's a sense of fulfillment that's unlike anything else. And then once you start doing it and you spend time doing it, you feel like you have more time. I don't know how that happens, but it does. And then you're actually able to do a little bit more here and there. Thank you so much for being with us here in another episode of Come and See.